I'm gonna give you 5 reasons why your business is failing in the marketing game, and I'm gonna tell you how to fix it. There's one chapter in which I talk about the lessons I learned from my most valuable mentor. This is my most valuable mentor, was my father. Lesson number 4, a war is won with a strategy. One of the most important lessons my father ever passed on to me was the subject of every single war that has ever been won in the history of this planet was won because the leader of that side was able to put together a better strategy than the other side. As simple as that. It wasn't about the size, it wasn't about the weapons, it was mostly about the strategy. So you gotta have a strategy in place. For example, many businesses are doing things like this. They are posting content occasionally, not systematically. They are running random Facebook ads, not really planned, not really thought through, not analyzed. They're sending a few occasional emails. They wake up in the morning and they say, maybe today I'm gonna try to generate a sale. It's not planned out. It's not strategic. It's not thought through. So you have to make sure that you have a strategy in place before you start doing any advertising or before you try to win the marketing game, whether selling products or selling services. You have to have a marketing strategy. That is the first thing that needs to happen if you want to win in the marketing game. These things need to be resolved. How do you fix it? Well, your marketing should follow a specific path. I want to capture attention, but for what purpose? Just so you can actually be a famous TikToker that knows how to dance and get attention and feel great about yourself? Or is it because you're trying to generate leads that eventually you can nurture, that eventually convert into customers? That is this strategy. Now, when you look at the individual subject of attention, you also have to think with, why do I want that attention and how am I going to get it exactly? Because if you understand this, you can actually now stand out and deliver value to people by providing content that's going to lead them to trusting you so you can eventually get a sale. That's how you fix that particular point right there. Number 2, trying to reach everyone. There's a saying in marketing that goes like this: if you speak to everyone, you speak to no one. So you have to make sure that if you're going after a specific audience, you have to know exactly which segment of that audience you are trying to target and how to get in front of them. Females, the age demographics, or males, or what are they interested in, or where do they live? Do they live on TikTok, or are they on Facebook more? Or are these people on YouTube mostly? What part of the social media world ecosystem are they in? And you have to know how to communicate to the people there. Here's something that I'm going to tell you that might be sad. Most people are not interested in your products or services. That's the bad news. The good news is you don't need most people to build a business. I can tell you that the world has a lot of them. In the United States alone, there's over 250 million human beings of all ages, starting from the age of 12 or 13 all the way to the age of 100, actively using social media every single day. All you have to do to build a business is find your little niche of audiences that you can target so you can try to generate enough business to get you growing and booming. As you get growing, as you get conversions, you can try out other segments and expand into other audiences and other demographics. You will see many times, you'll see business going on with like a message like this. We work with any type of business. In the marketing game, for example, I decided to apply this myself from the beginning because I was able to help any businesses in the game of marketing. I was able to, if you wanted attention, I could have helped you. But here's what happened. People that didn't know me, people that didn't trust me yet, it's too much of a general broad statement. So what I did was that I created something that I called a medical funnel. To give you one specific example, why did I do this? Because I had a lot of success helping doctors, chiropractors, functional medicine doctors, all these people that were in the health industry because of my experience on the subject of health with my father, with other celebrities and superstars and so on. I was able to get a lot of success in the health space. My own brand, which is called Natural Slim, is a health brand. We help people improve their health. So because of that, I have a lot of experience in that subject. So I created a funnel, a series of steps that allow me to introduce myself to other people, prospects in the medical space. So I can say, if you're a medical doctor, if you're a functional doctor, if you're a practitioner, a chiropractor, or whatever that is, I can help you build a funnel to help you generate attention that you can convert into leads and new patients. And if I talk to them specifically, I'm going to be able to generate more specific audiences interested in what I have to offer. Specifically here, who is this for? What problem do these people have that you can solve for them? What result do they want? When you're working on talking, when you're working on forming your message, you have to make sure that you have answers to these questions. Who is this advertising campaign for? What problem are you trying to solve for them? And what result are these people looking for? That's how you fix it. Now, here's an example. We help businesses grow. It's too general. Instead of that, we help roofing companies generate more leads. And would you get more specific? Then you can actually get more attention. There's a saying that goes like this: the riches are in the niches. So when you focus on one thing very specifically, you're going to get a lot of people that are interested in that particular thing, and you get to target the right thing. As you get bigger, you can expand and go broader and broader and broader. Like right now, I cover a lot more marketing areas. I help physical product businesses. I help generate leads for businesses and services of all kinds. But I didn't start like that. In order for me to be able to start, I had to focus on one specific niche, focus on it and get really good at it. And then I was able to expand outside of that particular niche. Number 3, not tracking results. So many businesses run marketing, but they never measure what works. They don't know which content generates leads, which is the one that actually was working. They don't know which ads bring customers. They don't know what actually drives revenue. They are guessing. This is how you fix it. Simple ways to do this. You ask every new lead, how did you hear about us? Whether you can actually track that digitally or not, you want to be able to ask these people that so you can always get that information directly from the consumer. Asking this question right here, how did you hear about us, is going to give you first-party data. Otherwise, it's what we call third-party data. You're relying on tracking systems, but you want to ask the customer directly for this information. You want to use different links for different campaigns. Facebook, emails, or ads. I use a software called Hyros, Hyros. You can use this software and I'm not affiliated with them. This is not the intention. I'm telling you what I use. You can use it to attribute different platforms for leads or for revenue of your sales. It doesn't matter what you use. You have to use something to be able to create attribution. So when you know what your marketing is actually responsible for, you can do more of what works and less of what did not work. You can send traffic to specific pages so you know what brought them in there. So if you create individual landing pages and funnels, you'll be able to track the results of that landing page. There's something that we like to do all the time when we're trying to test out landing pages, which is called split testing. Tools like, for example, Shopify and many other e-commerce platforms will allow you to create split test landing pages. So half of the traffic goes in one direction and the other half goes in a different direction. And after a lot of data, you'll be able to see which one performs better. That way you can judge not based on a romantic idea that you have, but you can just judge based on data. That's called data science. You can now see what marketing brings leads, what creates customers, what produces revenue. Number 4, ignoring search visibility. I love to do this once in a while. I like to search for my company and find out AGM marketing. Am I showing up? Is my marketing company showing up? Attention grabbing media. Is my company Natural Slim showing up? My company Better Dog Supplements showing up? Whatever that is, I want to make sure that I'm showing up on social media. I want to make sure that I'm showing up on Google, even on ChatGPT. Am I showing up? And there's a lot of strategies for that to make sure that you're getting visibility across these platforms where people are searching for your information. Many of these websites are not visible. They're not showing up, and they're not coming up as results when people are querying to try to find out how to solve their problems. You want to create content that people are already searching for on social media platforms. When you do this, eventually the search engines will start showing you how to fix blank, best way to blank, cost of blank. You can turn these into articles, videos, and social posts. When people search for answers, your content shows up. And number 5, not following up with the leads. Remember, this is a long-term journey. People have to see you sometimes 7, 10, 15, 25 times before they trust you to open up their wallets and buy something from you. So if you just generate a lead and you don't follow up with that lead because you are only looking for instant gratification, then you're missing out on the real value of building a business. There's many customers that I've serviced, many clients in the agency that I've serviced over the many years, that they try to generate a lead and they try to close them right then and there. And if they don't close them, they forget about those. Instead of nurturing, let's say, for example, that you have a person that, a client, that I'll give you a real example of a client that I've serviced, that they are in the roofing industry. They are fixing other people's roofs. And maybe that lead came in, but they didn't feel the roof was in such a bad condition yet. So it's not that interesting. If you follow up and you deliver emails and text messages and you stay in communication with these people at some point, the roof is going to be in a lot more trouble. And when dust get into a lot of trouble, maybe there's a hailstorm, maybe something happened. At that point, you want to be the first person on their minds. You want to have them come up to their minds. So now you can actually now get them to come in and buy your roofing service. So follow up is essential. You want to make sure that you are sending welcome emails, tips on the first few days, case studies, offer, information, value, testimonials, consistency. It is a never-ending journey. I've had people that have been on my email list for 5 years until they purchase something.